Hello everybody and welcome back to the Director of Football Challenge with Livorno. Now in today's episode we are going to play through the January transfer window. I am right at the beginning of January, so before we get on with it, we'll have a talk about a few things. In terms of the transfer budget going into this window, we do actually have £5 million with £90,000 available in the wage budget. This happened because back in November I think I requested more wage budget from the board, which they granted. And then they asked me to change my season expectation. So now the expectation is not just to finish avoiding relegation, it is now to avoid the relegation battle entirely, which of course we are more than comfortable of doing. I've also agreed a fee and a transfer for one player who will join us once the window opens. It's Alexander Madsen, a Norwegian. He was a 5-star right back. He was cheap, £400,000. He's not on a great deal of money. And I think he's going to come in as our backup right back. I'm going to try and give him as much game time as possible without harming Belangioli's development. But I did sign him with the idea that maybe Belangioli might leave the club. Udinese had been interested for most of the season, but that interest seems to have gone now. Obviously, with our director of football in charge of outgoing transfers, that could easily have happened. You know, a £5 million bid would have probably secured his services. So that this signing was with that in mind, really. In terms of the areas of the pitch where I am definitely looking to strengthen in this January transfer window, left back is probably one of the key areas. We've still got Gasparo and Nicola Maru, who's been injured for quite a lot of this season. I did expect him to be the number one, but he's declining quite rapidly. And I think we could bring in a youngster who could provide us a similar what he could with the potential as well. So left back definitely. Attacker midfielder, I would like to strengthen that area. We currently have Ante Coric, who again has been out for a lot of the season. Brian Galvan as well, he is currently wanted and he has a transfer request in, so he is transfer listed, so he could potentially leave the club. So attack midfielder, definitely an area as well. And striker, Skirbeck has been pretty disappointing this season. He's only got 4 goals in 15 games in Serie A, 14 starts, 1 substitute appearance. So I'm seeing him more as maybe a third choice striker rather than one of our first choices. So if I can sign somebody with the idea of them taking that slot, I'll be happy. Obviously, £5 million isn't a great deal to get all of them players in, but I think we've been quite tasty in the transfer market in terms of our summer transfer business, so I'll see if I can find any more gems. In terms of the games that we've got in the January transfer window, we only have an Italian Cup quarter-final during the window, so we're actually going to live com that right now. What do you think of this guy, Afonso Sousa? He is Portuguese, he's currently on loan from Porto at Sassuolo. He is available on a free transfer and he's willing to talk to me, which is a bit of a surprise. A lot of the free transfers don't want to talk until closer to the end of their contracts. He has come back and he's made his initial demands. £12 million release fee for clubs in the Champions League and things like that. He wants to be a first team player. And I think with the interest of not damaging Petras and Jonsgaard and Hugo Fernandez in terms of their play time, I don't think he's good enough to demand first team football from me. And at 23 years old, he probably still has some potential. But, you know, I like younger players. How as weird as that sounds, at 23. Coming in demanding this sort of stuff, it's not what I'm interested in. So I'm going to actually walk away. In terms of the lineup for today's game against Atalanta, we're going to start with Dullo in goal, Belangioli, Carpanu, Marquisa and Muru in defence. Ranocchia, Fernandez, Jonsgaard in midfield with Galvan, Shibakasa and Zach. I'm playing Shibakasa a little bit to see if he can get any form, as Skirbeck is definitely out of it. 4-5-1 for Atalanta. I've decided I'm not actually going to live com this game. I'm going to have the replays set for the goals and we'll see them when they happen. But yeah, let's get into it. Well, I'm quite glad I'm not live comming this properly because that was probably one of the worst first halves in history. We'll kick off the second half and see how we get on. I really want to progress beyond the quarter-final stage of the Italian Cup. I think it'll be a huge boon to our reputation. About 60 minutes in now, we are going to make a couple of changes, see who's struggling a little bit. Belangioli, we're going to get our new guy Madsen in at right back. And Ranocchia, we're going to get off for Ronaldo Vieira in defensive midfield. And that's the end of the 90 minutes. 0-0 Livorno Atalanta. A truly boring game, but we are going to go to extra time, so we'll just kick straight off. We're going to make a substitution straight away. We're going to get Petras on for Jonsgaard in centre midfield, freshen things up a little bit, and see if it can make any difference. And that's half time and extra time. We'll kick straight back off. Oh, finally, 106 minutes in, and we get the goal. Nicola Maru with a free kick. It's played nicely in our midfield, and it finds its way to Zach after a deflection, and he puts the ball in the back of the net, and we find ourselves 1-0 up. Just hold on now, lads. And there's another goal. Maru on this left-hand side again. It finds its way to Zach. Sheep Casa. Why is it in Zach? Sheep Casa gets the goal in the 114th minute. And yeah, double from our strikers. It's took till extra time, but we'll finally manage to put them away. And we will be progressing into the semi-finals of the Italian Cup. So I found this guy, Patrice Derrien Schmidt, who is a wonder kid striker. He's worth 5 million at Gwynamp. He's obviously playing okay for them in League 1. And his contract is running out at the end of the season. Now, he won't speak to me. He won't talk to me right now. And I really wish he would just talk to me. How much would Gwynamp want from him now? Like, if I offered 5 million, they would accept 5 million. I shouldn't have offered that. But yeah, I want him like really badly. So the semi-final draw has been done for the Italian Cup, and we're going to actually be playing Brescia in the Italian Cup semi-final. They are currently sitting in 7th position in Serie B. So I'm not getting too confident, but I expect us to be in a final, which I would admit does sound confident. Inter Milan, AC Milan in the other semi-final. Brian Galvan has withdrew his transfer request because he has been getting a lot more games as Ante Coric is injured. That sort of helps me out a little bit. I have had a look about the player search tool, and I can't really find an attacking midfielder who really would come in at our first team and make that position his own. There's plenty who've got potential, but they wouldn't necessarily be the best player in that position right away, which is kind of what I'm looking for. I have found this guy, Hugo Iazun, from Universidad de Chile. He's available for £3.7 million, which I think is quite a cheap fee for him, really. But obviously that would take up the vast majority of our transfer funds. And he's not currently playing in a position where I feel like we need strengthening right now in central midfield. I do think if he did come in, he would probably be one of our first 11. He would probably replace Hugo Fernandez in that spot. He is currently wanted by Lazio and Real Sociedad, so he definitely has some pedigree. But it's a big chunk of change, and it might be something I revisit in the summer if he's still available, as we do still have the ability to sign one non-EU player this season. So it looks like Salerno will be going out on loan. Cittadella have had a loan offer accepted by our director of football, and I think it's for the best if he gets out and gets some game time, because I am struggling to get him into the first team. Right, he's a transfer that you weren't expecting because my mic wasn't working when I was talking about it. Ricardo Marqueza had an offer from Palermo of £4.4 million. My director of football accepted that offer due to Marqueza being unhappy at the club and he wanted to leave. This was due to me not offering him a new deal because he had 3 years left on his deal, so I thought I'm not going to give him enhanced terms just because he asked for it, basically. So he has left the club. He's joined Palermo for £4.4 million. Which kind of puts us in a bit of a predicament. We now sit on £8 million with £100,000 available in the wages. We now need a centre-half in this January transfer window. Salerno is still going to leave the club on loan. I'm not going to cancel that deal, as I was never planning on replacing Salerno in our squad anyway. He was sort of surplus to requirements in that position. But now with Marqueza going, I'm going to have to sign a first-tamer, because currently we're sitting on our young Italian, Carpanu, and Hidatura Vest as our only available centre-halves. And there is Salerno leaving the club to join Cittadella on loan. Hopefully he gets plenty of first team football and he comes back to us as a better player. So first sign of the January transfer window is going to be a loan. I'm really struggling to find players right now, so we're going to sign him. Jordan Terunariga. So he's Jordan from now on. He looks like a really competent centre-half, 26-year-old German. I've decided to loan him for the rest of the season. I think he's probably a little bit better than Ricardo Marqueza on reflection. Whether he'd be out part of our first 11, purely because he's not my player, I am hesitant to start him. But he's coming in, so we've got that body in that we really needed, so we'll accept that. But I am struggling elsewhere. I have made an offer for a left back, which I think I'm going to pull out of. His name's George Shabalala. He's a South African. He plays for Sundowns. He's a relatively cheap fee at £900,000, and he's got okay stats. He would probably come in and be our first choice left back, but he's not exactly the kind of player I want. I'm basically bidding for him because we've got a slot to sign a player who's non-EU, which we are not currently doing, and I can't find anybody to fill that. But I think I am going to pull out this deal. Left back's not one of the major places where we need to sign somebody, so I think I am going to cancel that offer. I'm struggling to find players right now. I'm still trying to get the young French striker, but Gwynamp are having none of it in terms of signing them this season, and the approach to sign is still not having any of it. So that's it. That's all we've done in the January transfer window. I'm a little disappointed that we couldn't improve our side further, and anything we've probably weakened a little bit with the sale of Marquesa, but the players weren't there, and I wasn't wanting just to spend the money just for the sake of spending it. And I think that's what I would have been doing with the likes of Shabalala and some of the other players that I seen. I'll obviously still be going for this wonder kid French striker throughout the rest of this season. He wants big wages should he actually be willing to talk to me, but I'm ready to offer him them when he is ready to talk to somebody. But hopefully the big boys don't come in and take him before I can get the chance. Anyway, if you have enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like, and if you're enjoying my content, get yourself subscribed. But until next time, take it easy.